First six guys in the portal. You got initially Eric Freeney, and they're not done. Welcome in the latest commit for UCLA, Trent Perry. How is this even possible? No scholarships available. I'll tell you.
You are Locked On UCLA, your daily podcast on the UCLA Bruins. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome, everybody, to this edition of the Locked On UCLA podcast. I'm your host, Zach Anderson-Yoxsimer. Thanks for making this your first listen each and every day. It's free wherever you get your podcast, and it's available on YouTube. Like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for your support. Where we get started on this episode, which is brought to you by Monopoly Go, the Bruins. The Bruins, man, oh man. What has Mick Cronin been cooking up in Westwood with this commitment of Trent Perry? I didn't even think was possible. UCLA had an initial signee in the national letter of intent from the 24 class of only Eric Freeney from Corona Centennial. Then Cronin goes to work, finds his way through six guys committed via the portal, and one last commitment for this class of 24, true freshman in Trent Perry. This is a guy who was initially committed to USC, four-star that's been rising in the recruiting rankings, pushing five-star status. He has been leading Harvard-Westlake to SoCal elite territory, McDonald's All-American. He is someone who is the LA Times Player of the Year by the elite preps reporter Eric Sondheimer. This is someone who has been competing with the elite in SoCal and been balling out, initially committed to those guys across town. Then Andy Enfield left, forced out, whatever it may be, reopened his recruitment, was crystal ball to Virginia. And then all of a sudden, over the weekend, crystal balls changed to UCLA, sending those Cavalier fans and the Bruins fans into opposite frenzies, and now he's coming to UCLA. A team that has no current scholarships available, where Cronin overworked and overdid as much as he could to get guys in the portal to fix what the Bruins are missing. Immediately, for a year or two, and now, potentially with Perry, could continue to build UCLA towards elite status for a long time in Big Ten play. But how did the Bruins do it? Why did they do it? Well, Mick Cronin learned he needs to recruit locally. Elite local SoCal talent is as good as it gets in nearly every sport possible. You go through California, you go through LA, SoCal, you're going to find the most elite guys you can find. And Trent Perry was there. When he had his recruitment reopened after the decommit from USC, and to swipe him from Virginia, think of a few years ago. Who was saying no to Virginia over UCLA if you had the opportunity? Times have changed. Everybody, they have changed in this NIL culture from 23-24 to the 24-25 recruiting cycle. Things have changed immensely. Where Cronin was complaining about the lack of NIL support, now the Bruins are not only flipping guys, winning guys in the portal when they have to recruit guys transferring, and if there's a late stage recruiting battle, the Bruins are winning that too. And you're bringing in someone who's an elite talent who can score, shoot the ball, defend, has played at the elite level in SoCal, all across California, winning a championship with Harvard-Westlake this year, multiple between the Southern section to the Open Division in the States. This is somebody that just adds to an elite class. I was hoping last year would be that elite class in 23. No, 24 has gone above and beyond what UCLA could have expected in this summer recruiting cycle for Mick Cronin. And it was already settled. I thought this team was, I posted a few days ago, top 10 worthy, competing in the Big Ten with some solid programs. And whether they got Perry or not, they were going to be very good. But good now, good in the future. And this is just unbelievable work by Cronin. How did they do this? How do they have no scholarship spots available? Well, this is where UCLA is maybe taking a page out of how the Dodgers, I should say, were able to manipulate their payroll when they brought in the Yoshinobu Yamamotos, the Shohei Ohtanis. How am I comparing UCLA's offseason to the Dodgers' offseason? Well, while the Bruins aren't necessarily deferring money, the idea is, kind of reading from Bruin Report, and UCLA has enough NIL support, you can de facto create a new scholarship. That is where the enjoyment and the dangers of this day and age of college athletics are, where you can fully fund a player coming to your program and say, you're going to have a scholarship, just not in the regular terms of a scholarship. When you can put together a package in the name, image, likeness collective just to find a way to bring a player that is as talented as Perry or whoever is officially getting that extra quote-unquote scholarship, that is where the Bruins are winning. They don't even have spots, and they're making spots. That is what it's looked like. Just reading from Bro Report, they're creating a spot. And if somebody leaves, well, that still opens up the scholarship spot for Perry. Because the last Bruin departure was supposed to be Badike Buchenjo, which means Modest, probably going to stay. And there's going to be a log jam of time between the 1, 2, and 3 guys as the shooting guard, point guard. If someone wants to stretch to a small forward, whatever it may be, not saying that Perry is that guy, there is going to be a competition at every single spot to see who can get playing time. That is the ultimate team goal, where your guys are needing to compete. Well, yes, Dylan Andrews probably has the number 1 spot. Dylan Andrews was absolutely fantastic into the year as the point guard. Still, you're going to have guys challenging him for a spot. Guys who played 40 minutes last year like Lazar Stefanovic challenge for a spot to maybe get half those minutes this year, to work even harder to get half those minutes with what Cronin's brought in. Talent-wise, 6 via the portal. Freeney, hard-nosed, working, coachable from Cronin Centennial. And then the talents, and you bring in Perry, who has grown over his high school years and is bringing his talents to UCLA. In a last-minute switcheroo, switching from the Who's of Virginia to UCLA, man, this is something. Unbelievable that the Bruins are practically opening up a spot for an immense talent in a spot they didn't really have that. That's just the overall support from the fan base, the donors, the coaching staff, embracing 1, local talent, 2, getting guys out in the portal, 3, addressing their concerns, and 4, proving that they're a big market franchise, if you will, big market school in Los Angeles and acting like it and going and get those guys. And is Perry going to start? Is this guy? It's going to be a mix and match all offseason for Cronin. He doesn't get those extra practices and extra exhibition games because they went to Spain last offseason. We'll have to wait a full cycle before they can do that again. But they're going to have a full offseason. They're not going to have to wait for everybody to clear NCAA eligibility requirements, generally speaking, and more. They should all be ready to go, most of the guys, to play right away, hopefully. They're not going to have to wait the extra UCLA or NCAA eligibility requirement like the Amadas and the Badikes had to wait. Now, there's always little snafus that can happen, but this is just unbelievable. UCLA has done what the last 2 off seasons they've done in recruiting and what ways they went about it have been completely opposite, but are fairly fascinating. Mostly through the portal, mostly European freshmen, and how they've turned and gone each way in 2 separate years after they had a class take a team to the Sweet 16 twice in the Final Four. Today's day and age to fix a team is unlike anyone in any time in college athletics. And Mick Cronin said, I'm turning the page, and I can't turn it fast enough on this last year's recruiting class in terms of what he needed to replace, how he wanted to grow. Mick Cronin not making the tournament might be the best thing that's happened to UCLA in a long time. And I know people are going to point to UCLA, mediocre. They haven't been the same since they won in 95. No, Mick Cronin as the head coach, this is a little different. That's going to touch him deeply, and he has proved it with what he's gotten. 6 guys in the portal committed, some already signed and currently preparing to come to UCLA as soon as possible. Freeney and now Perry. This is just unbelievable stuff. How they did that, I didn't even realize you could even do that, but it's unbelievable. It's just remarkable what they're doing. So we're going to talk about it more. Guesstimate starting 5s in future Locked On UCLA shows. And where does this put this class? Top 10, including the transfers, amongst the best in the Big Ten? I know Rutgers had some guys come in, some elite freshmen, but the Bruins are putting themselves up there in that upper tier with the Purdue's, the Indianas, and the rest of the Big Ten basketball teams, because UCLA should certainly be amongst the elites in Big Ten men's basketball. and across the nation next year and years to come. Starting now, as it's already been, to as long as Mick Cronin is the head coach of UCLA men's basketball. My goodness. Passion, drive, and patience. The formula for winning championship is also what keeps your ride or die alive. eBay Motors has everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance. Superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, and more. Whether you're into speed, power, style, eBay Motors has got you covered. With over 120 million plus parts for your number one ride or die, you'll always find exactly what you're looking for. Because with eBay Guaranteed Fit, your part's guaranteed to fit your ride every time or your money back. Because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber, not cash. With all the parts you need at the prices you want, it's easy to make your car the MVP and bring home huge wins. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. eBay Guaranteed Fit only available to U.S. customers. All right, get those hands up, Bruins fans. 8 clap time, baby. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. UCLA. UCLA. Fight, fight, fight. This has been Locked On UCLA. Zach signing off. Trent Perry is a Bruin. Go Bruins.